What is going on, everybody? It's Alex coming back here with another video. Today, we are going to be doing something a little bit more fun than all these normal, boring records predictions. We're going to be doing a division mock draft. I remember you guys used to see this a while ago. You guys used to love this series, and you know what? I wanted to bring it back because it's been a little bit iffy with the timing, y'all. I understand that. I've been training as a bartender, so I've been going to school and bartending at night, just trying to find some time for you guys, and I don't want to mass produce bullshit. Obviously, we've been seeing the sub count go down a little bit. That's okay, because I know during the regular season, y'all come back. And you know what? Ain't no hard feelings about it. But, hey, we got something nice and fun for this video. We got a new sponsor. This is Waiakea Natural Hawaiian Volcanic Water, which is awesome. Honestly, I'm not going to bullshit you guys. It is honestly my favorite water besides Voss. Probably not supposed to say that, but I don't really care. It's honestly a really awesome product. It looks pretty badass, and I'm genuine when I say that it's actually a good product. So if you guys want to check that out, plus it's freaking badass. So also go down in the links in the description, follow all those accounts. You know what to do. Let's kick into the video. You guys don't want to hear any more bullshit. And I just messed it up. And we're back. Okay, so yeah, I messed up. I should have clicked 3 rounds. It's a 3-round mock. You know the deal. Of course, we are not going to be accepting any trade offers because it's just not fair, to be 100% honest with you guys. RNG, too much out of the ordinary. But let's not get any more BS up in here. Let's go Bengals. What do we need? So this is a pretty interesting draft because I feel like the top probably 6 prospects, or maybe 7, are extremely talented. And then it's a little bit of a jump. It's a little bit of a jump down. At this position, though, I think that the Bengals still need to improve that offensive line, right? I personally believe that Jackson Carman is going to be a guard. That's my personal opinion, just with his stub arms. I think he'd be really good as a guard, and I think he's going to be fitting right now as a tackle until somebody like Evan Neal comes along. And if you guys follow me on Twitter, I'm an Evan Neal hater until I saw how he progressed throughout the year. I watched one of his first games he played, and he looked terrible. And I saw how he played against Ohio State, and I was like, whoa, this kid made major progression in 1 year, and he looked like a veteran. So it was absolutely awesome to see that, and I'm so excited to see him transfer to left tackle. But honestly, I think that they're going to be able to move him back to right if they want to. They can use him wherever they want. He and Jonah Williams are going to be an excellent duo. I'm all down for building up the offensive line. You got Trey Hill in the center. Now you also have I'm bugging, Jackson Carman at guard, and then you got did I say Jonah Hill? Jonah Williams. I hope the guy didn't say Jonah Hill. Jonah Williams at tackle along with our good old buddy Evan Neal. So Pittsburgh, we already know we do desperately need a tackle. I think of Charles Cross as probably one of the best tackles in the class. If we want to look at the tackles, again, I don't really think that Dan Moore out of Texas A&M is going to be all that, even though the Steelers did invest something in them, and they are pretty good at doing these later round lineman pickups. I'm not a huge fan of it. I still think that we should go after a tackle, even if we don't have a quarterback. But Malik Willis is here. Ooh. Okay, that makes things a little more difficult because I think Malik Willis is absolutely amazing. And at that point, we could always go after a guy like who's more solidified, like Thayer Mumford later on. I think that might be the best move. We're going to go Malik Willis. You already know, in all my drafts, he's gone by this point. So for me, being able to see that, I think it's about damn time that Pittsburgh changes it up a little bit. Malik Willis is absolutely awesome. I was originally against all the hype, but the more I actually watched him, he is an absolute stud. Big fan of him. Now with the Browns, do they need anything? Absolutely not. Cornerback, they addressed that in the first round of this draft too. So they don't need anything there. Their secondary is pretty much built up. Running back core built up. Again, if they're at this position, I think they give Baker that extension because they're going to be in the playoffs to a good bit. They could go after someone like Tyler Linderbaum, but of course, they do have edge players on 1-year contracts, i.e. Jadeveon Clowney. So the question is, what do you guys want to run? Because we can go Aiden Hutchinson and have a big-ass dude there and continue this 4-3. But we could go Myjai Sanders, change it up a little bit. Nick Bonito, which is my favorite target. He is an absolute animal. I think that he should probably be a top. I think he's very similar to Azeez Ojulari in like how just he's like thin, elusive, quick. That doesn't really fit what the Browns are looking for. So I'm looking right here at these top 2 guys. I've always been a fan of Myjai Sanders. You guys can go back to the first videos I made, and I was a big fan of him. So Aiden Hutchinson, I think, just fits really well. He just seems like a guy who would work quite well with a guy like Myles Garrett beside him. Somebody with a lot of potential, still pretty young. I'm going to go with it just to be able to secure somebody who can at least play at a high level. So nothing bad at all. Now with the Ravens, this is something that I've been thinking about. I still don't believe that they have a good center. And Tyler Linderbaum, to me, I was thinking about taking Tyler Linderbaum even for the Steelers. But I think this is a great spot for it. You got running backs pretty much settled. The wide receiver core, you can't get much better. Defensively, I think they're pretty damn solid. Personally, I believe that the best way to go with is always to go offensive line. I know they also got Zeitler in there at guard, which is wonderful. But again, he's also getting older. They gave him a big contract, but there's always a chance to fill somewhere because he is an absolute beast. There's no doubt about it. I love him so much. So now with the second round, we're going off. So Bengals, we got our entire offensive line pretty much solidified at this point. Maybe it would be a good time to look at the defense, look at a linebacker, looking at DeMarvion Overshown, because I remember, guys, they took Malik Jefferson, if I'm not mistaken, years ago, and I mean he performed worse than I expected. But I'm looking at Udafon Olofosho, I think that's how you say it. And I know that people love him. I mean, my buddy Bro Schmo, shout out to him. Both these guys are absolutely great linebackers here. Merlin Robertson is probably a bigger dude. I remember I wasn't a big fan of him last time I studied him. So, there's also, I'm forgetting, there's a guy who I think he's at LSU now. He transferred from Clemson. I think his name's like Mike Jones. I don't really see him in here, but obviously I'd be taking him in the first under that situation. I think out of fairness, I think we can go back to Texas because we have seen that Texas linebackers get taken. And to me, that's probably the weakest attribute on this team. Let's get DeMarvion Overshown over there because he is a beast. He's a beast. I love it. Going with the Steelers now. So Steelers, we got our quarterback. Let's see if the gods have said anything to ooh. So that's interesting because I really want to go tackle here. But Brandon Joseph, to me, is easily a first-round player. It was a guy who I was even thinking about taking for any of the spots before. I was thinking about taking him right here at 27 for the Ravens. But, man, that is interesting. Because, again, you got a ball hawk already with Minka. But, oh, man, we're going to be able to re-sign whatever his name is. I'm bugging. Terrell Edmonds for really cheap. So we don't really need to go that way. Looking at the tackles here, again, we could always go tackle later on. Dude, you guys can call me out on it. I have a hard on for Brandon Joseph. I think that he's an excellent, rangy, nasty safety. Edge could be some place that we go as well here, but I think that we got to give Alex Highsmith some time. Nick Bonito, but we do need a second corner too. Shit, not Nick Bonito. I meant to say Brandon Joseph. I think we need to bolster the secondary. Josh Jobe is really damn good too. Man, it's a good corner class. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'd be proud of even getting Tariq Castro Fields, who was really good before his knee went. So I think that under that situation, I think I'm gonna go Brandon Joseph. It's just too good to pass up, in my opinion. I have him rated probably highest out of all these guys, apart from Nick Benito here. Obviously, I wish I could have gotten a guy like Matt Corral for the Steelers in the second round. I just couldn't take a chance, especially with Malik Willis on the board. 57, we got the Browns, and we already went edge for him. Now it's just like, what the hell do you do? Personally, I think Jarrett Patterson would be excellent as an option. Linebacker as well. I know that we got, what's his name? I'm bugging. The guy out of Notre Dame. I'm bugging on him. Rangy safety, linebacker hybrid. Name on the tip of my tongue, of course. Obviously, I think he can be a rangy linebacker, but there still is the need for somebody. I think Udafon Olofusho. I don't know how to say his name. I definitely wouldn't look for. Apparently, you guys are telling me not to look for pronunciations from Broshmo either. So at least I'm not being outclassed in that way. But still, man, I want to pull the trigger here because I know that the Washington linebackers know what the fuck's up. So it's definitely something I'm intrigued into. We're going to pull the trigger. There's nothing wrong with having young linebackers anyways. The only other guy I was thinking about was Jarrett Patterson to have as a young guy underneath in that depth chart to be able to grow. Again, he was just a redshirt sophomore, so now he's a redshirt junior. Next, though, the Ravens are here, but I don't think, can I pass up on Myjai any longer? Like, this is just disrespect to Myjai Sanders. It really is. It's kind of annoying me right now that he's even on the board. Same thing with Nick Benito. They're both absolutely amazing players. So, to be honest, I think I'm going to just pull the trigger on him because why not? I think, again, we're going to go best player available. To me, it's Nick Benito, but Nick Benito is a little bit different than what you got in the first round this year. So I think that it's a unique linebacker slash edge hybrid rather than what you got in the first round. So I'm gonna go Nick Benito. I just think his ceiling's higher than Myjai Sanders, but I love Myjai. Do not get me wrong at all. I mean, I would well, whatever. I was gonna try to take him anyways, but I mean, speaking of Texas, I mean, also I didn't even think about how wow, I'm really blanking on names today. It's been a while. How the Bengals got one of my favorite players in the draft, the edge out of Texas, which I cannot believe I'm blanking on his name, but it happens. Happens to everybody. So another position that I would probably be looking at, maybe we could get some more help on the interior of the defensive line. I know that they brought on the guy from the Texans a couple of years ago for a pretty big contract, but there's no real harm or no foul in that. Ooh, this is a tough one. This is a tough one. Obviously, we don't need to get a quarterback. JT Daniels, I'm happy. I wouldn't rate him that lowly. I'm going to be honest. The more I watch him, I probably would be putting him around like 7 on my quarterback ranking list. Don't need running back. Do not need wide receiver. Tight end definitely something we could still look at. Jeremy Ruckert, he is quite talented. Charlie Kohler as well is a very sneaky one. Definitely something. I mean, we could also just build up this defensive front, man. I mean, I love the idea of Haskell Garrett in there. He was an absolute wrecking ball for Ohio State. I think it's a solid option. You guys can, of course, correct me where I go wrong. Obviously, I'm going to forget some things here and there. So you guys always keep me in check is something I greatly appreciate. But I remember I got some – I didn't get any hate, actually, for putting DeMarvin Leal as a number 5 overall player in the draft. So kind of crazy that way. At 80, I don't know anything about this guy, to be 100% honest, Akeem Ekwonu, but – I mean, I'm going to respect the board of PFN. I don't think that they're the best in the world, obviously, but to be fair, George Pickens is on the board. That's a little bit disrespectful to George. I think it'd be a little bit too RNG for me to go George Pickens right now, just because I don't think that he'll fall that far, even with the ACL tear. I think he will be like a late second at worst. Just a little bit disrespectful to the man. So out of respect for him, I'm going to avoid that. Ben Brown, to me, isn't that great of a guard. To me, honestly, we're going to respect the board, of course. But I know, obviously, our guards are totally fine. That's the thing. That's the thing that's irritating me is because I want to pull that trigger, but I can't. Looking at the corners, though, again, we do need to look at corners because we got safety up in there, but we don't have any corner help. And I'm not really happy with any of these guys. Actually, Porter's pretty fucking good. Joey Porter Jr. is actually really good. I'm a big fan of him. And then Trent McDuffie is not bad either. Is that his actual name? I swear to God, that was a kid out of Boston College this year. But there's another Washington corner who's quite solid. I believe if he's number 2, then that's the guy I'm thinking of, which he's built for zone. That's what Washington does really well is that zone coverage, which is perfect for the Steelers. But again, so does Penn State. Penn State gets guys drafted by the Steelers every single year. So we're going to go Joey Porter Jr. here, the son of Joey Porter. So obviously got that bloodline in there. Big fan of it. Let's get it. Obviously George Pickens would be an excellent selection. It's a little bit too RNG for me. But now the Browns, again, a team that doesn't really need anything, in my opinion. I mean, we already addressed that they even have a solid-ass interior defensive front. Like any of these guys they're not going to build up the defense at all. There's just nothing that's going to be added to the team. Their entire defense, to me, is stacked. They could go some extra wide receiver depth here. Ty Freifogel is getting a little bit disrespected here. Obviously, I'm trying to see if maybe they haven't ranked anybody yet, which, to be honest, the rankings aren't that terrible. I think that they're pretty solid. Yeah, I mean, I'm not seeing anybody where it's like, how the hell did you not rank him? Obviously, like the UCF quarterback. I'm not gonna check his name right now. You know what? I am. They actually did rank him. God bless. Where is it? Dylan Gabriel, which again, that's a really disrespectful ranking. I don't think Dylan Gabriel is that bad. He's just really skinny. But to me, I think wide receiver is something that they should look at. Ottman Bell has terrible PFF ratings, and he pops on and off. Jahan Dotson is another really good player for you guys to look at. He's quite fun. Kind of reminds me a little bit of KJ Hamler when I watch him play. But Ty Freifogel is a nice deep threat. It's just part of what I feel would work with the Browns. Again, you can never have too many wide receivers either. With the Ravens, though, I think that we could start getting some extra corner depth here. Trent McDuffie could be. Oh, but they all the Ravens have been drafting so well over the past couple of years. It is a little bit irritating to me, just because I'm a Steelers fan. But honestly, I could be looking at a linebacker here. Jack Sanborn. I swear to God, he got drafted. Oh no, he didn't. He returned to school. Dimitri Moore should not be ranked that low either. I mean, there's a lot of guys like Gayo Teote also being a bit disrespected here. To me, I think that Amari Gardner is pretty good. Damone Clark, pretty damn solid. There's some guys in here where I think they're getting a bit disrespected. Deshaun Wyatt as well. I honestly would put him up into this range. There's nothing wrong with it. To be fair, we could also just get some extra edge depth. This is a tough spot. I'm honestly going to be going with Trent McDuffie, a super young corner, and he has time to develop. So just use him as some extra depth or use him as a trade piece. There's nothing wrong with it. I love all those players. And then we're on the board again with the Ravens, the team I do not like drafting for the most. To be honest, you go best player available here. To me, you can go Ottman Bell if you want to, but to me, I think Ben Brown getting some extra guard depth is going to be the most beneficial. So here you guys go. You guys get to see what we drafted. Let me know what you guys think. Obviously, I'm going to try to make this more and more consistent. It is a pain in the ass. So I appreciate you guys being patient with me. I'll see you on the far side. Peace.